Penguins and Flyers. We've waited long enough, Penguins Nation and Flyers Nation. It's time for the Battle of Pennsylvania. And what better way to get it done, or rather get it started, in Pittsburgh just 2 days before Christmas? The Battle of PA, 2 days before Christmas, between the Penguins and the Flyers, begins now on Penguins Postgame. Let's get going. Let's get going. You're locked in to Penguins Hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Sidney Crosby and the Penguins play here on the Sports for Beginners podcast. Hey, Shooty scores! The bingo game is ready to roll. Welcome to Penguins Postgame. PPG for PGH. And you'd have to be here to believe it. Here is your host, Scott McGregor. Here we go with Penguins postgame. Battle of Pennsylvania. We have waited long enough, Penguin fans and Flyer fans. It is finally time for John Tortorella and Mike Sullivan to go head to head. John Tortorella and Mike Sullivan, head coaches of this evening's matchup. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Penguins Postgame. Good evening, everybody. My name is Scott McGregor, host of Penguins Postgame. Penguins 7, Flyers 3. Penguins win the game by 4 points. And once again, score a touchdown. 7 goals scored by Pittsburgh in this game. They win round 1, 7-3. We're going to get into it in just a moment. But first, our venue was PPG Paints Arena, the site of tonight's matchup between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh on December 23rd, 2024. Our starting netminders in goal for the Flyers and their backup. Their backup was AK, number 35, Alexei Kolosov. Alexei K, I should say. If I pronounced that wrong, I apologize. We're going to go with AK for short. Samuel Arison getting the start. Samuel Arison getting the start for the Flyers, number 33, backed up by 35. On the other side of the ice, it's 39, Alex Nedeljkovic, backing up number 35, Tristan Jarry. So it's 33 versus 35 in our matchup in between the pipes. In goal, to be more specific. All right, round 1 of Flyers versus Penguins for the 2024-2025 regular season. After this quick timeout, we break it all down. By the way, Rickard Rakell does score in the first period, but the first time he tried to score, John Tortorella said, "Hang on a second. I want to take a look at this." And they did. The goal was deemed offside, so Nothing happened. No goal was scored by Ricard Raquel, but later in the game, first period, he did get that right back. We'll get into it all when Penguins postgame Battle of Pennsylvania returns in a moment. Stick with us.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Looking for conversations on books and more, as well as tutorials on using your favorite devices and applications? You've come to the right place. Join us weekly on Spicy Techie, where Ali and Sienna provide insightful conversations, as well as useful tips and tricks to help you along on your technological journey. To learn more, tune into the show and like the Spicy Techie Facebook page. Search for Spicy Techie.
It's the Battle of Pennsylvania, one of the best shows in the business on Sports for Beginners on Penguins postgame. I've been waiting for Battle of Pennsylvania to come, and I can't believe we had to wait that long. But you know what? Good things come to those who wait. And speaking of waiting, you only gotta wait 2 more days to get crazy on Christmas and get into all those gifts that have been wrapped up. The busiest shopping days of the year have come and gone. But I mean, Boxing Day, you classify that as the biggest shopping day of the year, especially now with New Year's on the horizon and on the way to 2025 eventually. But anyways, we have a lot of stuff to get to here. Let's jump right in. It's time to break this game down and let's get to it. Here we go. Penguins Flyers, here we go. Here comes our game scoring and penalty takers. Here we go. So things started quickly, but not quicker than we saw that LA King goal a couple nights ago. An LA Kings goal a few nights ago. However, quick enough to get the game's first goal. 1 minute and 29 seconds in, the Rusty Razor says, "Merry Christmas, everyone. I just got you after the Christmas break. Half off Rusty Shakes at the Milkshake Factory, the official milkshake of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Merry Christmas, Penguin fans. By the time you hear this, you'll probably be enjoying half off Rusty Shakes. Well, at least when Sports for Beginners one goes out. We're hoping for that. But we will see. Anyways, the captain, Sidney Crosby, picking up an assist on the Rust goal, his 15th of the season. Crosby's 27th assist of the season and first of the evening. Rickard Rakell, 12th assist of the season. And I don't believe Rickard Rakell had another assist, but we'll check into that in a little bit as we go along. Not a lot of penalties were called in this game, but 3 of them went to Philadelphia, 1 in the third period and 2 in the first period. But speaking of Philadelphia, they do score early. 6 minutes and 12 seconds just after the Brian Rust goal. Igor Zamala, his second goal of the season. Assisted by the former Penguin, Ryan Poehling. His 9th of the season. Scott Lothington, his 10th assist of the season and first of the hockey game, because Lothington got another assist later in the game and in the first period. Sorry, in the second period, I should say. He gets 1 in the first period, but the Penguins jump to a 4-1 lead after Igor Zamala ties this game up at one goal apiece, Penguins get the opening goal, Flyers answer back. And the Penguins answer right back 11 minutes and 53 seconds. Yes, 53 seconds it was instead. That was 11 minutes and 53 seconds. As Rickard Rakell, he was not rewarded a goal because the first time he tried to score, it was offside. Next time he goes, with the play being tallied onside, this time around, he goes in and scores. Now he's got his 16th goal of the season. And Brian Rust, a goal in the game already. Why not add an assist? He's now got 12 on the season. EK 65 on the assist. His 20th of the season. And the Penguins back in front. It's 2-1 Penguins. But they weren't done there. Oh, really? Does Cam York have to take a penalty? Well, guess what? Cam York takes a penalty for holding the stick. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes and 53 seconds. Just a few minutes later, Michael Bunting puts Pittsburgh in front 3-1 on the power play. PPG for PGH. His 8th goal of the season. Malkin on the assist, his 21st of the season. Crosby, his 2nd assist of the game. 28th assist of the season. 16 minutes and 15 seconds in. So just about 2 minutes after the penalty occurred, and 15 seconds later, it was a power play goal. A few seconds later, York. This time, his holding call is going to go against Philip Tomasino 16 minutes and 43 seconds later. So literally a couple of seconds later. And then, speaking of that, a minute 44 seconds later, it's another PPG for PGH for Pittsburgh. Their second of the game. This time, the goal scored by Philip Tomasino. So Tomasino got tripped up hold it by Cam York to draw the second time York would go to the box. And then he made him pay on the power play. His fourth goal of the season and fourth as a Penguin. Sidney Crosby on the assist. Now his third assist of the hockey game. And 29th of the season. Crosby has 3 assists already in the game before we've got to the middle frame. And on that next power play goal, PPG for PGH, at 17 minutes and 44 seconds in, the Penguins are up 4-1. They lead by 3 goals after the first 20 minutes. Shots on goal, all square at 9-9. All square at 9-9 for the game. When you look by period, they were all square at 9-9. After one period of play. Second period rolls around and the Flyers go on the attack early. 4 minutes and 29 seconds in. Noah Cates cuts into that 4-1 lead, makes it 4-2. With his 6th goal of the season, Bobby Brink picking up an assist here. He picks up his 11th assist of the season. And speaking of Cam York, he picks up an assist on the Cates goal by Noah. That's Noah Cates, who picks up the 6th goal of the season for him. Just like that, it's 4-2 Penguins. Penguins still ahead, but only by a pair. Not for long. Sean Couturier picks up his 7th goal of the season, with Travis Konechny picking up assist number 25 on the season. And Scott Lothington picking up his 2nd assist of the hockey game and 11th of the season. So about 13 minutes and 6 seconds in, the Flyers have drawn closer. It's now a 1-goal game, 4-3 Pittsburgh. Michael Bunting says, okay, enough of that. And he quickly gets the lead back to a pair for Pittsburgh with his 9th goal of the season and 2nd goal of the hockey game. Speaking of seconds, Evgeny Malkin picks up his 2nd assist of the night, his 22nd of the season. Erik Karlsson, also speaking of which, picks up his 2nd assist of the evening and 21st of the season. (18 minutes and 48 seconds in). After 40 minutes, Penguins on top by a pair. It's 5-3. Penguins after 40. Shots after 40. 12 for the Flyers, 5 for the Penguins. Flyers out shooting the Penguins 21 to 14, excuse me. To the regulation time period we go. Well, Cam York, I can't say you caused all the penalties for Philadelphia because Matevei Mitrokov, Matevei M, I will say. We're going to go with MM. If I pronounce the name wrong, I apologize. He goes for hooking at 2 minutes. Sorry, I should say 19 minutes and 42 seconds. 19 minutes and 42 seconds. Time of that penalty. But right before that, Flyers within 1. They need a goal to make it 4-4. At this time, it is 4-3. Pittsburgh. Crosby sees an opportunity, and he will strike. His 10th goal of the season, unassisted. And Crosby scores into the empty net goal for his 10th goal of the season. And with that, it's now 5-3 Pittsburgh. Penguins on top 5-3. And then once again, the Flyers pay on the penalty kill as the Penguins score for the 3rd time in the hockey game on the power play. And this time, the power play, PPG for PGH, belongs to number 48, Blake Lizotte. Ryan Shea on the assist, his 2nd of the season. Matt Nieto, his 1st assist of the season. Blake Lizotte, 8th goal of the year. And that would seal the deal at 7-3 after the Crosby empty net goal on a nice wrist shot by Sidney Crosby. And there you go. There is the game breakdown. So when we return to Penguins postgame, Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Time for the game stats. The final shots on goal from the 3rd period. And much more. So be sure to stick with me. Our stars of the game coming up as well. Just be sure you stick right with me. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
Looking for a sports podcast that covers sports weekly as well as gets you set up for the day? Check out Weekly in Sports with me, Scott McGregor. We give some shout-outs of the week to podcasts like this one and those who do them. Discuss the Blue Jays, Bills, Raptors, and more. To learn more, check out the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners.
Take another look with Gerda Felix and Melanie Taddeo Malo, two powerful women of diverse backgrounds having genuine, unique, and uncomfortable conversations that everyone needs to have. Join Melanie and Gerda for conversations about what is missing from human connections.
Welcome back to the Battle of Pennsylvania on Penguins postgame. Penguins and the Flyers, the topic of conversation tonight. Penguins beat the Flyers 7-3. It's time to talk stats. Really? Do we have to talk stats right now? Yes, we do. Here we go. And I'll make it quick. I mean, it actually will be pretty quick, to be honest. But before we do, Sidney Crosby made some history today. Crosby made some history today with the win. If he had Sidney Crosby made some history today. If he got more than one assist he got 3 assists in the game, but if he got more than 3, he would have passed Mario Lemieux for the most assists in Penguins history. He is now tied with Mario Lemieux at 1,033 assists, which are the most assists by a Penguins center or right winger in Penguins history, in Penguins franchise history. 4-point night for Sid tonight, but it could have been much more given the fact he is now tied with Mario Lemieux for the most assists in Penguins history. Wow. Talk about have a night, Sid. Have a night, Sidney Crosby. Have a night. What a game it was for the Penguins. What a game it was for the Flyers. Sidney Crosby added, as he is in elite company, even with Mario, he added in a quote here that we have here from him. I dreamed of playing in the NHL, and I'm grateful for that for all these years, but I don't think about where I am on the list. To be with Mario, though, that's pretty cool. I never would have expected that, so that's just a bonus. And speaking of that, we're going to go by stats here when we go into the final score. Let's start with what I have here on the Penguins X account here when they show the final score. Shots on goal for the game, 27-22 in favor of the Flyers. That's what yes, and that actually does pan out there. Yes, it is. As they did get one more shot on goal in that third period, but the Penguins did win the period 8-6 in regulation. Just going to double check that just to be sure. Yes, the Penguins did win that period 8-6. Penalty minutes. Shocker. Not really, considering the Penguins did not take a penalty. But it's 6 minutes in the penalty box for the Philadelphia Flyers. They had 8 blocks in the game. 8 blocked shots, 11 blocked shots for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won 59% of the faceoffs, well, actually 59.2% of the faceoffs. Philadelphia, just about 41% of the faceoffs. On the NHL.com, it says 40.8% of the faceoffs were won. But speaking of faceoffs, how many were shown? 49 faceoffs tonight. And the Penguins won 29 out of 49 to make up their faceoff percentage. The Flyers won 20 of 59 of the 49 faceoffs. The 49 faceoffs. They won 20 out of 49 of the faceoffs. And they also go 0 for 0 on the power play because the Penguins did not take a penalty. Their penalty kill, and I'm talking about the Philadelphia Flyers first. The penalty kill for the Flyers, oh, where was it? It was nowhere to be seen in this game. 0 for 3 on the evening. As the Penguins score on every opportunity they get. Count them, 3 PG or PGH goals in this hockey game. When was the last time we saw the Penguins go 3 for 3 on the power play? Probably a long time ago, right? That's something to wonder about, right? Anyways, moving on. The Flyers did out-hit the Penguins 26-21. Penguins gave the puck away 6 times to... The Penguins gave the puck away to Philadelphia 16 times. They took it away from Philadelphia 6 times. 7 takeaways for Philadelphia, 8 giveaways to Pittsburgh for Philadelphia. And there you have your game stats of this hockey game. First period game stats on Penguins on the Penguins social media, and of course probably the Penguins radio network or wherever, are brought to you by Vector Security. We are not sponsored by Vector Security, but we are also not sponsored by what's coming up next. No, we're going to get to this before we take a break. The 3 stars are sponsored by your neighborhood Ford stores in Pittsburgh. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. We are not sponsored by Ford, your neighborhood Ford stores. And we are not sponsored by Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination, the sponsor of the play of the game. That on Penguins postgame coming your way in the next segment. But just before we take the break, as we are coming up to the shake of the game, puck of the game segments, and I do want to touch on games that are going on in the National Hockey League right now. By the time you hear this program, those games will be final. However, a couple of games that did final early on, we will get to when Penguins postgame continues in just a moment. The play of the game is coming up, but before we do get to the break, as I said in just a moment, we will get to the break in just a moment. Here are the 3 stars of the game. And no surprise. Well, I mean, I am kind of surprised considering the fact that it was 7-3. But hang on. Why would that surprise me? Okay, anywho, let's get into it. Rickard Rakell is your 3rd star of the game. 1 goal in the game. Almost had 2 goals, but an offside call put that out of reach. 2 assists, though, for Rakell. 3 points on the game. Your 2nd star, 2 points on the game, 2 goals, and no assists. It's Michael Bunting, the former Toronto Maple Leaf. And your 1st star, give it up, Penguins Nation, for your captain, number 87, Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby, Michael Bunting, and Rickard Rakell are the 3 stars of the game. And for Crosby, a goal, 3 assists in the game for 4 points on the game. 4-point night for Crosby. And he ties Lemieux for Penguins' career assist record in wins in the win against Flyer. We're going to get to the play of the game coming up next on Penguins postgame. Plus, shake of the game. A look at the window of games in the NHL. And the game puck of the game coming up as well. All that's still to come, but be sure you stick with us. Because by the time we wrap up, we're talking, when are we doing it all again on the Battle of Pennsylvania? When are we doing it all again? Find out, still to come, on Penguins postgame. Right after this break, a look at the NHL window of games going on and finaled. As well as my play of the game, the shake of the game right before that, and then the game puck of the game. All that coming up next. Stick with us.
CNT Radio will never give you up. They will never let you down. Nor will they run around or desert you. So join Nick Astley for The Melting Pot every Saturday on CNT Radio. Hang on a minute. He's not Nick Astley. Oh, jings, I've done it wrong. Anyway, just join Nick for The Melting Pot on CNT Radio.
Looking for a good hockey podcast that covers your favorite hockey teams and mine? Check out On the Ice and Behind the Benches, where we chat about our favorite hockey teams from puck drop to the last play of the action. To learn more, follow the On the Ice and Behind the Benches Facebook page. Search On the Ice and Behind the Benches. All right, back here on the Battle of Pennsylvania between the Penguins and the Flyers. Penguins win it 7-3, despite being outshot 27-22. In the shot total. Before we get down to the play of the game and our game puck of the game, that is coming up just before we get to the shake of the game. The play of the game is going to actually go before the shake of the game, and the game puck of the game will follow the shake of the game. But before we get into that, let's start out by looking at games so far in the NHL ongoing. And this just in for football fans, the Green Bay Packers will be playing football past week 18. They are in. They have clinched a 2024 playoff berth following Monday Night Football's 34-0 shutout win over the New Orleans Saints. I mean, that game pretty much could have been over right from the get-go. But what a performance by the Packers in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. All right, back to the hockey for a moment. The Minnesota Wild defeated the Chicago Blackhawks 4-3. We had a 5-2 final between the Hurricanes and Predators. The Sabres score a touchdown. Touchdown Buffalo. And they beat the Islanders 7-1. We had a good one going on in Columbus, but the Jackets come out on top 5-4 against the Canadiens. They beat the Canadiens 5-4. Our game 7-3. The final in that one. Speaking of shutouts, Nikita Kucherov, I should say, former Penguin Jake Gensel, Mitchell Chaffee, and Brandon Hagel score in a 4-0 shutout win over the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. But they're not the only team with a 4-0 win. The Red Wings get shut down and shut out by the St. Louis Blues 4-0. Dylan Holloway, Alexander Texier with the game goals. Dylan Holloway with a hat trick, including an empty net goal. The Boston Bruins beat the Washington Capitals 4-1. The only 5-0, I should say, shutout victory to speak of is the Devils going motorizers on the Rangers, beating the Rangers 5-0 in New Jersey tonight. And also final, in the early slate, besides the Rangers and Devils, the Maple Leafs lost to the Winnipeg Jets 5-2, as the Jets get a little sweet taste of revenge after losing that last game they played just over 2 months ago. I should say just 2 months ago. Anyways, ongoing right now in the third period, the Stars lead the Hockey Club 3-1. In the second period, the Golden Knights lead the Ducks 1-0. Tanner Pearson with the only goal, his 6th of the season. And the Sharks in the Shark Tank on the way to the third period. They trail the Canucks 4-1 as we speak to you. They are on their way to the third, trailing 4-1. So games have gone final. A couple games still going on. Not many, but a couple still going on. By the time you hear this, they will be final. But that brings us now back to the play of the game, where we are going to kick this thing into overdrive. And here we go. My play of the game, I mean, how about it? I gotta go with the goal by Philip Tomasino. I'm gonna go with the goal by Philip Tomasino. You charge a penalty once again to Cam York, because Cam York was the recipient of this kind of penalty that was taken. And Tomasino, after he drew the penalty, I should say, not charge, he drew the penalty to Cam York, and afterwards he made him pay. You are the men with the call on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. All credit going to Sportsnet Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the NHL, and of course, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers, as I said. Well, I was going to say Philadelphia Flyers, but I said Pittsburgh Penguins twice. Anyways, all credit going to them. Credit to Phil Borg, who said that he was going to be on the air on the TV side with Josh Getzoff, which meant it was Army. It was Colby Armstrong with Joe Brand on the radio side. Here's the call. Of Tomasino's PPG or PGH. That's good enough for my play of the game. Shake of the game coming up following that. So stick with us.
He's going to start a 2-on-1. Crosby and Bunting. Here comes Crosby. Shoulder save, Anderson. Crosby, what work? They score! Tomasino puts it home. And a piece of Penguins history as Sidney Crosby ties Mario Lemieux for the most assists ever by a Pittsburgh Penguin. That's special. Level Kissinger with the glove save, the click up. And here's the difference with the Penguins right now. Punt, punt, punt. They are hungry after lose pucks, winning puck battles.
They were definitely hungry And you heard Phil Borg talk about hunt, hunt, hunt. And that's exactly what the Penguins did tonight. They went hunting. Josh gets Phil Borg and either are I think it's either Dan Potage or Haley Hunter. I think it was Haley. But anyways, Josh and Phil on the call on the TV side, Colby and Joe on the radio side. That's good enough for my play of the game. And that brings us to a 30-second timeout. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up with our game puck of the game and our shake of the game. But didn't you just say you were going to do that in this segment? Yeah, I know. I kind of flipped the script right in front of you. My bad. That's okay. We'll take the break and get to it when we return. Also, when we return, the next 5 for Pittsburgh, next 5 for Philadelphia. Stick around. Still more Penguins postgame coming up when we return.
Looking for conversations on the world of broadcasting, sports media, and from time to time, my favorite sports teams? Listen to Broadcast Map with me, Ali Musa. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Broadcast Map Facebook page. Search Broadcast Map.
All right, welcome back to Penguins postgame, Penguins and Flyers, final segments of the program. This unfortunately means we will not be taking another look around the NHL, but that's okay. If you want to get in on the action on the 3 stars of the game, play of the game puck of the game, or the shake of the game, all you have to do is send an email to sportsforbeginnerspodcast 8231 at gmail.com, or if you're on Discord, go over to our Penguins post-game show interactions section in our Discord server. And with that being said, submissions will be accepted no matter when the program goes out to you, even during the live, which we hope to start doing that eventually, maybe in the new year. We'll see. All right, with that being said, our shake of the game is our play of the game segment. And that is the segment we call the shake of the game. And we're feeling given, as we are in the giving season. We're going to start with the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. And our first shake of the game recipient is going to go to Noah Cates. I really like what I saw from Noah Cates. His stats speak for themselves, but I feel like he had a really nice game tonight. Just a disclaimer, I haven't seen the highlights yet, but we did see one together on the play of the game, courtesy of Josh Getzoff and the old 2-9er, Phil Borg, who had the call on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Our second shake of the game is going to go to Samuel Arison. Wasn't exactly a good night for him. And I understand he did not play the entirety of the game. He was pulled after the 40 minutes of game time. So after playing the first two periods, he does end the game with a save percentage of .643. Made just 9 saves on 14 shots. 5 goals given up for the game. 3 of them at even strength, 2 of them on the power play. And his backup does come into the game, makes 8 saves on 7 shots. Does give up a goal, but it's a goal not at even strength, it's on the power play. And that save percentage for the backup, which is AK, is .857 at the end of the game. Playing 18 minutes and 22 seconds. All right. So Samuel Arison and Noah Cates, the recipients for Philadelphia, which bring me to the Penguins recipients tonight. First up, how about Erik Karlsson? Well, I mean, I could go to Erik Karlsson, but instead I'm going to go to Sidney Crosby. Ties Mario Lemieux tonight for the most assists in Pittsburgh Penguins history at 1,033. I should say 1,033 assists, which is the most by a Penguins player in Penguins history. 1,033 is where he and Mario Lemieux stand. So one more assist and Crosby will have passed Mario and become the Penguins' all-time leader in the most assists by a Penguin in Penguins history. And that will be something. So Sid's going to get the first shake of the game. Tristan Jarry is going to get the second one. Because I really thought, despite Jarry giving up 3 goals at even strength, facing the 27 shots he faced, he does manage to make 24 good saves and does play 59 minutes and 47 seconds, I should say. I was about to say 49. 47 seconds is what I meant. 59 minutes and 47 seconds total. Save percentage by Jarry at the end of the night, .889. Not bad for Tristan Jarry. Game puck of the game. Even though I'm feeling giving, we're only going to give away one because I want to make sure that we get into the next 5 for both squads. So tonight for Philadelphia, that's going to go to Travis Konechny. I really thought Konechny was really well playing in this game. I mean, Bobby Brink, this guy was a hitting machine. 5 hits in the game for this dude. I don't know what was going on there in Pittsburgh, but Bobby Brink, you certainly brought the Battle of Pennsylvania to life tonight at PPG Paints Arena. PPG Paints Arena, I should say. That said pants earlier. I meant to say paint. Okay. That's okay. There's a bit of room for us to be goofy here, given it is the giving season. For the Penguins, there's a lot of people I could give a game puck to, but he has a shake of the game. So I would give this to Crosby. I really would. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Brian Rust. Because as I mentioned off the top of the show, Penguin fans, on the 26th of December, right after Christmas, or the 27th rather, it's either the 26th or 27th, Penguin fans, because Rust scored, you receive half off Rusty Shakes Thursday, December 26th, I believe, 2024, at the Milkshake Factory, at your local Milkshake Factory dealers in Pittsburgh. So go grab yourself a milkshake, courtesy of Brian Rust, from this game. And with that being said, that will just about bring us to a close on this episode of Penguins Postgame. But just a quick update here, as we are about to start wrapping up. Still 1-0 Golden Knights over the Ducks in the second period. Third period, it looks like the Stars might win this game. 3-2 is the score against the Utah Hockey Club. The Sharks also looking for a comeback here. They're early third, and it's 4-2 Canucks over the Sharks. So we'll see how those games final out. But right now, time now for your next five. And we're going to start with Philadelphia. Coming out of the Christmas break, the road trip continues for Philadelphia. They are on a 4-game road trip to end the month of December and make that a 6-game road trip to start and end the 2024 year, but 6-game road trip to end 2024 and start 2025. That road trip continues after the Christmas break with a 4 p.m. Eastern game against the Anaheim Ducks, as they are in a back-to-back motion. 4 p.m. Eastern against the Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim on Saturday, the 28th of December. Then they will play the Kings in LA on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. In LA, 8 p.m. Central. Then, some New Year's Eve hockey as the Flyers head to the Shark Tank for a showdown with the San Jose Sharks. They're in Vegas on January 2nd, the Thursday night, to take on the Golden Knights at 10 p.m. And then on a very special night for myself and the host of On the Ice and Behind the Benches, the Flyers are in Toronto to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the next 5 for Philadelphia: at Anaheim on Saturday after the Christmas break, at LA Sunday, as they're on a back-to-back this weekend, back at it Tuesday against the Sharks on New Year's Eve. They'll play the Golden Knights on Thursday, the 2nd of January, and the second day of 2025. And then they will go head-to-head with the Toronto Maple Leafs on January 5th, 2025, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And now for your Pittsburgh Penguins, the topics that we are talking about here on Penguins Postgame. It's a home-and-home series back-to-back coming out of the Christmas break, as we will play the New York Islanders on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, then follow that up with a 5:30 p.m. Eastern game right back here in Pittsburgh on Sunday. On the 29th of December, we'll wrap up our season series with Detroit on Tuesday, New Year's Eve, taking on the Red Wings at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, as that will kickstart a road trip here, not a very long road trip, a 3-game road trip to be exact. On the 3rd of January, the Florida Panthers are taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. That ought to be a good one. And then the Penguins are in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. I'll be with you for all of those games as best as we can. But man, I gotta tell you, there are still a couple of games that have aired recaps. They have aired on our podcast, Sports for Beginners, but they haven't aired on the Ice and Behind the Benches. So I'm glad we're at a break now. Enjoy this 2-point party on 5th Avenue as the Penguins beat the Philadelphia Flyers 7-3 in the first battle of Pennsylvania of the 2024-2025 season. We're doing it all again on February 8th, 2025. This time, Philadelphia will be the host. So I wonder what will happen this time. And that's on a back-to-back after the Penguins are back in the Big Apple to take on the Rangers. We'll be at the Wells Fargo Center for the matchup. I will have the post-game show for you. If I'm not there, I will have it for you here on Penguins Postgame. And I really hope I can tune into that game. I really hope I can tune into that game. That's going to be a very good one. Then the series shifts back to Pittsburgh on the 27th, but not before we play once again on the 25th of February. So between the 25th and 27th of February and the 8th of February in 2025, the next couple of meetings between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins will play out. But for now, we look forward to the Christmas break, and I will catch you next time on Penguins Postgame for a New York Islander home and a home series next time on Penguins Postgame. First in Long Island, then in Pittsburgh. Sports for Beginners is going to be busy with bonus content galore. So until Saturday, Penguins fans, we celebrate loud and proud and say, let's go Pen! Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And I will see you all next time. A lot of time left to see the Battle of Pennsylvania. We had Game 1 tonight. Game 2 is in February, as well as 3 and 4. I can't wait for those games to come. But for now, we say loud and proud, Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year. I will see you next time on Penguins Postgame. Peace, everyone. Good night, and Merry Christmas. And as I said before, let's go Pens. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. You've just listened to Pittsburgh Penguins hockey on the Sports for Beginners podcast. To learn more about the show and to view the upcoming schedule, like the Sports for Beginners Facebook page. Search Sports for Beginners or visit the official Sports for Beginners podcast website. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay tuned. And remember that it is not goodbye, it is until next time. And you'd have to be here to believe it.